What's up, guys? Tim in the North here with an AoE 2 ranked match. A little bit different today. We are watching two other players play. We are watching Gus 7 AVO2 as the Burgundians, and in red, Mr. Feitoria himself. So, I did say in the last video, or the one video before the last video, because a new one did come out, I was going to try to start maybe doing some casting of this and just watch this player, because I think it's an interesting strategy. Even though I'm not a fan of it, I still think it's unique. Yeah, so we're gonna look at some Cell Clips videos, and I think everybody who watched, left a comment or a like on the previous video, it does mean a lot. I did get comments that I felt like it was gonna happen, and it is what it is. I know not everybody watches the whole videos, or really any channel. I wouldn't expect that to be any different from mine, because I am way more boring than other people, so I don't expect anyone to sit through an entire video or even hear this comment that I'm making here. But I did say in the last video, there's a case or an argument against the fact that I had missed my window, which a lot of people pointed out, along with, you're just bad at the game and, all that. Like I said, I knew that was coming too, but I did say, there's an argument to be made that a window was missed for me, and I should have done something sooner. But in the previous video, like I said, I wasn't even thinking about Feitorias in the middle of the game, and my mindset was, let me just make them burn through all their stone, and I'll get in and take care of whatever. But it wasn't until like 3/4 of the way of the game where I'm like, how do they still have stone? And then it popped that oh, I'm playing against Feitorias, because usually the strategy, at least at my elo, is I'm going to drop a castle in your base, and I'm going to throw some unique units in there, and hopefully you hit GG. And I was waiting for that with the organ guns, but that's not what happened. So that's what I was preparing for. So, and that's why I think this is unique. But I still think the Feitorias are overpowered. Okay, it doesn't change the fact that infinite is broken. However you really want to label that, especially when it's against limitations. And it's funny because I pictured some of these comments, right? Like two people playing against each other, and someone being like, oh shit, I'm out of stone and I'm out of gold, and then the person with Feitoria is going, oh yeah, well, I have infinite gold and stone, but it comes in slower than what you would have gotten with your vills. Like, no, it's infinite. Like, it's not a matter of like, oh, it's slower. It's infinite when there's very valuable resources late game that other civs miss out on. I don't understand the argument to keep it. It's not like something else, or not necessarily just keep, but like no other civ has something like that. I mean, you can make a case for Gajars, right? Because they can put food in the mills, but it's just food, and it's a trickle. And then there's relics, but like relic gold is a trickle. Even if you get a few relics, it's not anything too insane. Stone, on the other hand, I think is kind of wild, just because the structures that you can build with it, and the fact that we get bombard towers here. But anyway, that all aside, just want to thank everybody for leaving comments and stuff and watching. I thought it was fun. I got a laugh out of it, so I enjoyed it. I hope others got to read comments and laugh at it too. But we'll look at a couple different strategies that other people had brought up in the comments during this video, and we'll see how those really played out. But yeah, we're just keeping an eye on Cell Clips here. I mean, Burgundians are cool, but like, let's dissect this build, okay? I think we clicked up around 26 vills to go into Feudal Age. We see the balance that we have here. We're opting for the stone on the outside first because we want to get this, because this can become very dangerous later on when there's more ranged options. There's buildings that could go down here and contest this stone. So that's the strat, is eating up the stone out here before moving to the safe stone on the inside. But We are going to be playing for relics. As you see, some of the spearmen are coming out here to camp the relics. So good move on Silk Lip's part here to get that extra gold trickle coming in, because we're not going to be producing a ton of vills in Silk Lip's case, right? Burgundians have 2 town centers down right now. We're operating off the lone town center for the Portuguese. We have some action out here. A scout got picked off. We have some spearmen fighting out here, and these guys will get roasted by the castle. So yeah, the gold trickle is going to be nice here for Silk Lips, because we don't want to, I mean, we're dedicating pretty hard here, right? We have 9 people on gold, but we're up to imp. So we can get them off gold and rely a little bit on the trickle that's going to come in from the monastery, especially because the Feitorias require, I think, like 250 or 300 and some gold and stone to build here. So we are going to see some production building come down. We're trying to make houses for the cap space that the Feitorias are going to take up. The spearmen are poking at the palisade wall at the wrong time. That stone just got finished. This gold is just about well, quite a bit left. All right, first Feitoria is getting dropped. So I don't know. I don't know if crop rotation's really the bang for the buck that you're going to look for here. Just because most of your food's going to come from Feitorias. Like, I would have grabbed that much later, probably. I probably would have saved the resources. 3 TC boom back here for the Burgundians. Didn't opt for any of this space back here. Okay, 4th Feitoria going down. So we got some organ guns out here. I don't believe we saw in the match that I had. This gold is getting eaten up. Opting for a gate here, so this is a nice secondary wall within the base, so there's a barrier here. I like it. So 101 pop for Burgundians at the moment. They're still booming at home. So the Burgundians player is taking a similar strat that I took, where I wanted to boom a little bit. I felt like I was able to take advantage of the fact that there wasn't a castle sitting on my lap. That bill will get taken out. So all the upgrades coming in. We will slow down as soon as we start getting some action here. Okay, putting down a nice line of production buildings here. Probably going to wish that they were a little bit closer when all this goes down. Fortified walls now coming in. Okay, here we go. We have 11 bombered towers going down right now. So we have one hell of a wall here. Okay, this is just, you know, introductory stuff, right? This is serious material down here, because as soon as you get here with anything, you're gonna have to deal with mangonels. You're gonna have to deal with the bombard cannons. You're gonna have to deal with the organ guns, wherever the hell those things went, and monks. So this is quite a bit of a resistance here. Okay, so we have some rams coming full. Another town center happening over here. We have some rams coming forward, and you know, a couple people did leave comments. Oh, you just use rams, and you know, I get it. The rams are very effective against the bombard towers, but the issue wasn't just the bombard towers, though. The issue was getting to the bombard towers, as well as trying to, you know, deal with the bombard towers. So, you know, the rams can kill them really quick, and unless you make like 15 rams, I feel like even then, they were going to get picked off real quick. Because, first of all, Cavalier are coming out here, and, you know, they're able to kite some of the halbs away. Yeah. And the Cavalier mean absolutely nothing for Silk Lips. Gonna have gold and food coming in forever. So, you know, throwing this out here isn't a big deal. We're getting some intel here. So it's a good play by Silk Lips to see what's going on out here. But like I said, if the Rams did get through here, let's say the pikemen came out, perfectly executed all the Cavalier, and the Rams got through. The Rams are going to come up here. They're going to get sniped by a Mangonel and the bombard cannons. They're not getting through these buildings. So, you know, you have the counter for the towers, but he's got the counter for your Rams. So that's why the Rams weren't like a staple in my approach, because it was a matter of getting to the towers early on, and then mid-game or mid-combat, I was losing grounds. So when towers were exposed, there were melee units that could easily grab those Rams. So overextension here on the halbs. So the Cavalier will clean up both of these trebs. Like I said, no issue throwing units here, so gonna take them down. Gonna kite things around a little bit here. And I do like this. This is what I wish the Magyars had bombard cannons, because I would have leaned super heavy on those, and I think this is what you have to rely on for the strategy. I think you need a bunch of bombard cannons, because, you know, trebs are great, but they are so immobile. It takes forever to pack them up, and by the time you see the bombard cannons and try to react, you're packing up, and they get 3 shots off, I think, probably before you even have the ability to start moving. So, you know, it's a little bit too slow to deal with the bombard cannons. So my opponent was able to get in, but you know, got back here. Who cares if you're idling eco, because there's 7 Feitorias here, and I think that's the other part of this that, like, you know, is overlooked when talking about Feitorias. It's like, oh, they're balanced because they bring in resources slower than what a Vil would, and it's slower if it's efficient, right? So we have villagers sitting back here. This is efficient, right? But, like, you gotta fight for, in a traditional game, you have to fight for map control to secure resources late game. You don't, that's not a thing with Feitorias, right? So, like, you take that element out. So sure, like, it comes in slower, but who cares? You're still getting it. So now these guys are sitting here. These guys are still sitting back here. This was a resource here. This gold will get dried up soon. Okay, so these guys are getting moved over to the gold. Not efficient, though. Looks like we had an overclick here, or maybe clicked a unit with the scorpions. They got nuked by the towers. Throw the Cavalier. Not a problem at all. So a lot of stone here for our Burgundians player. They did drop a very forward castle, which I think is risky, because you know that the bombard cannons are over here. So it's not like you're in a great position here. Also, your opponent has Cavalier, so you're not going to get a lot of protection, I feel like, from the castle. So it's kind of a little too forward. I do like the siege workshop being more forward, so you can get bombard cannons out a little bit quicker. Yeah, this Treb came out at a rough time. Ooh, save the Treb, but Click the Cavalier back. So buy yourself some time. Jesus, that is very inaccurate. Okay, we got a hit. All right. So these 4 bomber cannons coming in here for the Trebs. One goes down. Yeah, there's nothing. You don't have anything for this. That's a bit of a problem. Another Treb goes down. Very expensive exchanges. Yeah. Sending rams in here isn't going to do anything. Look at these onagers here. We have another castle. So I think similar to this, it's too aggressive and it's too exposed. Just because you don't have this here because of the bombard towers. And now, yeah, now the onagers are just going to come forward and do some work on the vills here. Yeah, these got nothing. Nothing. Another Treb down. Yeah, this was the issue I was trying to avoid with the bombard cannons in my match. When I was trying to do this, I was trying to take the Trebs from here. I would spawn them out a little bit and then just click the most forward wall. So I was always out of range of the bomber cannons, but obviously, you know, I'm only taking out the forward wall, so I'm doing a lot of packing and unpacking for the Trebs. So ground is being lost here. Vills are repairing the bomber cannons. And this castle is now in danger of going down. Oh, it has Trebs and bomber cannons, so yeah, this castle is going to go down. Another Treb is going to come out, but it's going to get sniped. That's unfortunate. Opponent, oh, Burgundians have another castle over here, but they also doesn't work like this, friend. This is unfortunate. This is I mean, I get it, right? It's an expensive investment in towers here, but you're not really dealing with anybody coming through here though. So like that's the problem, is because the bomber cannons or Trebs are sitting right here and we'll easily pick this all off. It's kind of what you're trying to do, right? But like your production buildings like aren't very close to this, and you also don't have 13 of these things. Going for the gold. Gold is starting to dry up here. Is this? No, there's a little bit of gold here. Here and here. Okay. So, yeah, the gold's starting to dry up. Like I said, it doesn't matter that it comes in slow. It comes in forever. I think that's the part that's, you know, trying to balance infinity is, you know, that's an uphill battle. So yeah, the bombard cannons are gonna wipe out these bombard towers. Yeah, these are still in range of the castle, so they're gonna take out any kind of trash units that come through here. Yeah, the towers are done, and the castle is the next victim on the list. We're gonna repair the wall. This gold got mopped up because, like I said, you know, it's an element for the other player to have to fight for map control to secure resources, right? it's not an issue here. Like I said, I think it's just another aspect of Feitoria that gets, you know, not talked about. Like, because I tried to like look up and see what other people thought of this, and I seen people say Feitorias need to be buffed. That's crazy. But you know, it was always like the speed and the space. I think space is a good argument, right? I mean, this is a very large foothold here, but you know, you know, it is a large building, so I don't know, maybe taking up more space, but I don't know. I'm still a fan of diminished returns, just because that concept already exists on the Gajar's food trickle when you garrison sheep. Yeah, I don't know. The stone, and it's really the stone trickle, because you can just spam those the towers forever, and units. But yeah. So these Cavalier coming out are getting good intel. They're just trying to see what's out here. He knows the opponent's resources are gonna be drying up soon, just because I know that a lot of these games are played by Silk Lips. I also know that it looks like, as of recent at least, there is like map or match abandonment when Arabia comes up. So Silk Lips is probably a much higher elo than what this suggests. Or, well, I guess that's the thing, right? Is, are they, where is their elo truly, right? Because they're very good at this, but if they're throwing other matches to get back down to this level, you know, where are they really at? Fortified Wall comes in for a Burgundian player. I guess they're trying to turtle a little bit to buy themselves some time as they invest in some other techs, but the gold is just about run dry at this point, because we don't have this gold any longer. I think Gus had, what, 90 some vills? So they have much more space for military at this point. They just can't afford the military. Now the bombard towers are moving forward. So we will speed this up, because I think we know where this is going, right? The gold is just about run dry, and Silk Lips is now on his death march here to wipe out his opponent. And these towers are going to keep everything protected, except for the vills that are trying to build them. They got the riskiest job, as the other siege weapons kind of hang back and take care of everything else. So all the gold is run out for Silk Lips at this point. Cavalier are laughing as they're dying, because it's like a Hydra. You kill one and they just they come back. They're back. The Scorpions, not probably not a great investment. This Cavalier, just 50 of them, 60 in queue. Oh my god. Yeah, there's 5,005 gold still on the map, and it's here. And it's not even being mined, and we still have gold coming in. That's crazy. It's wild, man. Like I said, I think diminished returns on stone and gold, and then I've seen other people say that, oh, well, that defeats the purpose of, you know, putting a Feitoria up. I think if you have infinite resources coming in, I think that's enough reason to have a Feitoria come in. Like, if you think about the eco upgrades, like, especially the farming upgrades, like, you make that investment waiting for it to come back, right? So, like, I know crop rotation takes a while for you to get that payment back, so you know, I don't understand why a diminished return wouldn't be is such a frowned upon thing. Like I said, the cap space, there's cases in which that works for you, right? Because yeah, you can't make as much military, but you still have these super deadly buildings that are killing everything. You don't have to worry about managing a ton of, we're down to 5 vills. You don't have to worry about managing a ton of vills, or you know, there is trade-offs with that. Still have access to the market to rebalance the floating resources. That's going to be the game right there. So yeah, like I said, I think we're gonna watch a few more of these matches just because I think it's interesting. I know I have a viewer that wants me to play as Portuguese and show me how to counter it. Which I'm gonna try to do, and if as long as it's, you know, somewhat entertaining video, I'll try to upload it. But I'm not a Portuguese player, so I'm probably gonna have to practice a little bit and then come back and give it a shot a second time maybe. But yeah, obviously there's approaches to this. You know, dropping a castle right away would obviously probably put enough pressure on somebody to end this, but like, is castle drops the only approach to taking out a Portuguese player at this point? Is that what we're saying? I think that's where you start coming back to the conversation of balance again, right? Is, well, if you do this, like, you don't have to worry about it. Well, you just have one strat to deal with it. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty entertaining match. It's very different. And I do think there is upside to being able to play a strat where you don't necessarily have to fight for turf to get more resources. Like, I think there's you know, some gain to that, but I think like the towers just make everything a little too crazy. It just, I think it's almost like a trifecta, right? Like, bombard towers are very powerful, but I think like they become more powerful because of the cannons that they have access to. And then, you know, like, it's the Feitorias with that, because you can then spam all these towers. Then, you know, I think the organ guns are just kind of like the cherry on top. But yeah, anyway, that's my take on it. I thought this was a fun match. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I did, and I hope to have another one of these uploaded again along with some of my matches. So for now, guys, feel free to like, comment, consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Catch you on the next one. Peace.